Hello everyone, I'm Dan Philgreen, and this is Shell Point Today for the weekend of February 27th, 28th, and 29th. On today's show, we'll check out one of Shell Point's brand new buses, and we'll replay some of our feature stories from earlier this week. Before we get to that, we want to remind you about some events going on this weekend. On Friday, organist Ned Spain will once again be filling the Woodlands Commons from floor to rafters with beautiful music. Ned began playing the organ before the movies at base theaters while he was serving in the Marine Corps. Locally, he is best known for his 20 years as staff organist on Pitfall, the David Allen TV quiz show. Join us for a pre-talk at 5 p.m. with Ned, where he will describe his performance and answer any questions. Then the show will start at 6. That's Friday in the Woodlands Commons. On Saturday, you can join some of your neighbors and take a walk for a good cause. The Lustgarten Foundation exists to fight pancreatic cancer, the fourth leading cause of cancer deaths in the United States. To date, the foundation has provided more than $65 million in research support to the cause. The Pancreatic Walk takes place at Lakes Regional Park. Bus pickups start at 7 a.m. Again, that is Saturday. Also Saturday morning, Linda Rakos, Shell Point's registered dietitian, will be making a presentation on healthy cooking with fresh herbs. Not only are fresh herbs beneficial for your health, they can help you add a touch of flair to your cooking. Linda's Life Quest event starts at 10 a.m. in the Grand Cypress Room at the Woodlands. And one last reminder for you, entries are currently being accepted for the year's Shell Point Photo Contest and Show. Rules and submission forms are available at either service desk, but you must submit your entries to the Island Service Desk. You have one more week, as the last day that entries will be accepted is Friday, March 6th. The Shell Point community is blessed with a truly unique and beautiful location that has been developed into a spectacular property of residences and facilities. One of the benefits of Shell Point that longtime residents come to appreciate is the attention to the continual maintenance and refurbishment that keep this beautiful place beautiful. And more often than not, when something needs replacing, while they're at it, it gets a bit of an upgrade as well. Such is the case with the recently replaced buses used for off-property trips and medical transport. We met up with Dianne Morton to get a look at the brand new bus in the Shell Point fleet. Hello Shell Point, I'm Dan Philgreen with Shell Point TV, and with me is Transportation and Resource Services Manager Dianne Morton, and we are standing in front of one of the brand new Freightliner buses that we have for the trip bus and the medical bus. And Dianne, tell me about this new bus and why the Freightliner? I think the old ones were Fords, weren't they?
They were. We have decided to buy a heavier duty bus. It is a Freightliner bus with a Cummins engine and an Allison transmission, which is just a heavier duty bus for our needs, and we feel that we've added the air ride suspension, that this bus is a much smoother bus ride and will last us a long time here at Shell Point.
So I heard it running a little earlier. It seems like it's quieter than the old buses. It's just higher technology and a better bus, isn't it?
Correct.
Well, show me some of the new features here of this bus.
Okay.
Now, Dianne, I've seen that this step seems a little lower than the older buses.
It is. This is a shallower rise in step. So when the passenger boards the bus, this first step is approximately 9.5 inches. The previous bus step was 19 inches, so we have cut this dramatically, making it much easier for our residents to board and unload when riding this bus.
That's great. That's great. And what else do we have inside?
Go up here.
So, nice new seats.
Yes. The seat features that we have when we were looking at our choices were seats that have grab points. On each seat in the aisle, there's a grab point, making it safer for residents that have mobility issues to be more stable when walking down the aisle. Each seat has a seat belt, and once people are fastened in the seat belt, the aisle has an armrest that can be put down for comfort when going a long distance. Another feature on this bus is the windows. The windows are lower, which makes viewing, if you're out on an activity, maybe at a garden or a park, and the window height is much lower, which makes it easier for people to see what's going on.
Yeah, beautiful view out of this bus. Speaking of view, I see some TV screens scattered throughout the bus.
Yes, we've added these TV screens for multiple reasons. When we have sales and marketing events, we will be featuring ShellPoint videos. If we are maybe doing a Christmas event and taking pavilion residents out Christmas caroling, we could put on a Christmas video. So we will use them as needed to promote ShellPoint as well as make it a special experience for our residents riding.
Very, very nice. Now this bus seems a little bit maybe bigger than the last one, is it not?
Yes, this bus is bigger. What this bus features are 2 wheelchair spots that, should we have a passenger that has wheelchair needs, we can accommodate them, or we can put the seats, flip the seats down and accommodate 4 additional passengers.
That's terrific. So wheelchair accessibility, a beautiful view, and TVs.
Exactly. We've gotten many compliments from the residents thus far, just in the smooth ride. As I said earlier, this has an air suspension feature, which makes it a smooth ride no matter how many passengers are on board this bus.
Very nice, very nice.
What you're looking at now is the driver compartment. It's got a very comfortable seat for the driver, as well as an additional safety feature of a backup camera, which makes it easier when we're maneuvering in various parking lots around the Fort Myers area and here at ShellPoint. We're always thinking safety when we purchase our vehicles.
So we have a beautiful new trip bus here, Diane. How many people can it hold?
It can hold 30 passengers with 2 wheelchairs, or if we have no wheelchair passengers, we can accommodate 34 passengers.
Very good. And I understand the medical bus is essentially the same bus, a little bit smaller.
That's correct. We can accommodate 18 passengers with 2 wheelchair spots on our medical bus.
Excellent. Well, there you have it, folks. 2 beautiful new buses for your use here at ShellPoint. Get out and enjoy them. Coming up, we're going to replay some of our best stories from this week on ShellPoint Today. But before we do that, let's cover all of this weekend's happenings, Academy news, menus, and church news.
Hi everybody, welcome to the weekend edition of ShellPoint's Happening segment on ShellPoint TV. We're going to tell you what's going on all weekend long. I'm Bev Chandley and this is Caitlin Van Scoy. We're going to start Friday out at 8 o'clock with the men's match play doubles tennis down at the Woodlands tennis courts. At 8:15 we have the Stamp Ministry gathering. They'll be at the Stamp Room on the island. At 8:30 until 11:30 the Friday Marketplace will be in the Administration Courtyard. Canasta and Samba will be at the Woodland Commons second floor lobby at 9 o'clock. At 10 o'clock we have the men's match play doubles tennis down at the Woodlands tennis courts. Inquiring minds will meet in the Manatee Room at 10:15. Now we're going to jump to the afternoon and at 12:30 when we have mixed progressive bridge in the game room of the Woodlands. We have advanced table tennis in the Tarpon Room in the tunnel at 1:15. And we also have those quilters in the Osprey Room at 1:15. From 1:30 to 3:30 we have the Model Train Room open for tours. We also have Vespers in the Community Room of the Arbor at 1:30. At 2 o'clock, it's time for Bid Euchre. That's in the Sable Room of the Woodlands. And we have water volleyball at the Life Quest Aquatic Center at 2:15. At 2:30, Latin Size will be down in the Health Club. And 2:30, we have Vespers in the Community Room of King's Crown. The Great Decisions Group will be in the Manatee Room on the island at 2:45. And then we have a 3:30 Vespers at the Springs. Pickleball will be at the Pickleball Court at 4 o'clock. And we have Ned Spain coming to campus, and at 5 o'clock he'll be here for a pre-talk, and then an organ concert at 6 o'clock. That's at the Woodland Commons. And then at 6:45 we have game night at the Resident Activities Center, so head on up there for some fun. Here's Caitlin to tell you what's going on Saturday.
Thank you, Bev. We have the Pancreatic Cancer Walk Saturday morning, and court pickups start at 7 a.m. on the island, 7:10 Woodlands, and 7:20 Eagles Preserve and Estuary, and you do need to sign up for that. 8 a.m. we have pickleball being played at the pickleball courts. And 8 a.m. is the time for round-robin doubles tennis at the Woodlands tennis courts. 9:30 we have men's and women's doubles tennis at the Woodlands tennis courts. And duplicate bridge will be played in the Manatee Room at 9:45. 10 o'clock, we have a Life Quest group discussion in the Grand Cypress Room of the Woodlands. And at 10:15, we have the Model Yacht Sailing Club. They'll be at the Garden Apartment Pond sailing their boats. At 12 o'clock, court pickups leave for a theater trip of Chicago. They're going to Artis Naples. 12 o'clock Island pickup, 12:15 Woodlands, and 12:30 Eagles Preserve and Estuary. We jump to 1 p.m. We have chess in the library lounge of the Resident Activity Center. And at 1:15 we have Scrabble being played in the library lounge. 1:15 is also time for table tennis down in the Tarpon room. And 3:15 is the time for basic line dancing in the health club. We finish Saturday off with duplicate bridge at 6:30, and that'll be in the manatee room. And here's Bev for our Sunday activities.
Thank you, Caitlin. At 9 o'clock, we're going to start with Christian Life Studies in the game room of the Woodlands and also at the Village Church. Our morning worship service at the Village Church begins at 10:15, and it's also broadcast live on ShellPoint TV, channel 13, if you're interested. We jump all the way to 3:30 this afternoon for a Sunday golf mixer. That's at the ShellPoint Golf Club. And 4:15, we have the ballroom line dancing for beginners, and that's in the health club on the island. And our last activity today and for the weekend is our 6:15 evening service at the Village Church. Well, we sure wish you a very wonderful weekend, and we'll see you back here next week.
Hi, I'm Terry Kolath with your Academy information for the weekend. On Friday, February 27th at 10:15, we have the iPad, iPhone walk-in help clinic in the Technology Teaching Center on the island. All are welcome to bring their iPad or their iPhone and the question. I'd like to tell you what's coming up next week. On Monday, Bruce Findlay of Sundial will teach iPhones, Siri. And Meg Singer of Teledora will teach Facebook basics on tablets. Russ Cray of Oakmont will teach from shoebox to spreadsheets. On Tuesday, Susan Ross returns with Shell Pictures. And Penny Modrich of Nautilus will teach the iPad. Got one, now what? Bruce Findlay of Sundial will teach the iPad, What's in the Air? On Wednesday, Susan Willoughby begins the third session of Intermediate Bridge. So if you haven't signed up for session 3, stop at either service desk. Internet Prep School will be taught by Richard Nelson of Lakewood. On Thursday, we have Academy on the Go Educational Field Trip number 5. This time we're going to Oscar Scherer State Park.
Menus for your weekend. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter on Friday is shrimp creole with cheese grits and mixed vegetables. The dinner special is the seafood buffet for $15.95, and the soup of the day is corn chowder. In the Island Cafe for lunch on Friday, the special is a turkey Reuben with chips for $7.25. The dinner special is Chef's Choice for $8.25. Dinner specials in the Palm Grill on Friday are lamb chops for $22.95 or Florida lobster for $22.95. On Saturday, the Crystal Room is closed. In the Island Cafe for lunch on Saturday, the special is an Italian meatball sub with a side salad for $7.25. The dinner special is spaghetti and meatballs with garlic bread and fried zucchini for $8.25. Dinner specials in the Palm Grill on Friday are prime rib for $19.95. On Sunday, the Crystal Room features its Sunday brunch for $17.50. In the Island Cafe for lunch on Sunday, the special is a bacon, egg, and cheese croissant with fresh fruit for $7.25. The dinner special is Chef's Choice for $8.25. And the Palm Grill is closed on Sundays. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Hi, I'm Randy Woods. I'm here today with Glenda Stephenson as we look to the end of February and turning the calendar for March 1st. Hard to believe as we continue here through the season, and we're looking forward to Sunday morning worship. And as we share together this Sunday, Glenda, can you tell us, I know Pastor Andy's continuing in his study in the book of Hebrews.
He is, and I believe this week he'll be in chapter 10. The title of his message is The New and Living Way. This is all about the superiority of Christ, and so this will be another aspect in that series, I'm sure.
And I know that passages encourage us not to give up in meeting together, the assembly of fellowship and focusing on this superior Christ. And in doing that, we'll share together on Sunday morning in the communion service.
Right.
As we share that this Sunday, Claire Fossey will be playing the organ, and we appreciate her ministry so much. She's been part of the church for over a year now, and she and her husband Jake, but Claire will be playing for the whole service, and look forward to having her at the organ. Of course, the choir is singing, and the favorite contemporary song, how deep the Father's love for us. And as we share together on Sunday morning, it's always a great time of singing, instruction, and sharing around the Lord's table. And then Sunday night, we're going to continue at 6:15. And Pastor Andy's been doing a series again on the attributes of God.
He is. He's been looking at who God is, coming at it from different perspectives. And this particular week, he's going to be looking at what does the Bible say about God. Mm-hmm. And so we'll be able to put together a picture of God over the course of a number of weeks that I think will be encouraging to us and helpful because it builds our faith.
Mm-hmm. Well, already we've started that the last couple of weeks. Of course, we had the interruption last week with just the ministry of Theater for the Thirsty, looking at Daniel. And so we'll get back into this series with Pastor Andy on Sunday night. And as we've shared together in worship again this week, we invite you to be part of the services in the morning at 10:15 or Sunday night at 6:15. And then remind you that the morning service is broadcast live at 10:15 on ShellPoint TV Channel 13. But as we share together for the services, I believe we should remind the folks as well that there's a special opportunity during the 9 o'clock time for Christian life studies.
Yes, and Pastor Ken Nesselrode has been doing a series on prayer. Mm-hmm. And I know that's been much appreciated in the hospitality room there at the church. Begins at 9 a.m., as you mentioned.
Yeah, and everyone's welcome to that as well. Yeah. So I invite you to come and join us as we continue to grow together, to worship the Lord, and to study His Word, to share in the fellowship, and we look forward to seeing you this week at the Village Church as we grow together.
And now it's time to take a look back at the stories from this week on ShellPoint Today. We took a trip out to the estuary to the home of the first residents of the neighborhood, Jim and Glenda Best.
Well, I was a teacher for quite a while, and it was a period of time in Ohio where the state was desperate to get teachers, so they offered a 2-year scholarship, and then if you taught for 2 years, you didn't have to pay it back. So of course I did that, but then I finished the degree eventually, and
then went on and finished a PhD.
Right, I just kept going to school when I wasn't teaching. Then I became a school psychologist for a while. Then Jim started a business in 1980.
Yes.
And he needed help.
Boy, did he.
Organizing the office and so forth. So I did that, and we both worked until we were 75 with his business.
And so ours was a very small business, so we used to call it just a little ma and pa international newsletter business. And so Glenda was really the one I could discuss different ideas with and things. And what we did was to publish a total of about 6 newsletters. It varied from time to time on different aspects of the plastics industry. These would be read by managers and presidents of companies in the plastics industry. And then we did market studies, mostly on plastics in the automotive industry. And these were big fat books, sold for about $4,000 a piece. And we lived up north because I had to be near the automotive industry. The newsletter business ran into troubles, mostly due to the internet. These happened about the time that was a good time for us to retire, so we just walked away from it and trying to relearn how to play golf and enjoy life. And a lot of sailing. Had a 30-foot, it was called a non-such type of boat. And before that had a 45-foot diesel-powered Woody, a 1.5-inch cedar planking on bent oak frames, big diesel engine. So we enjoyed boating and the friends that you make boating a lot. When the business really started to fold down and we started to be moving more into retirement, we didn't have any reason to need to be up north where it tends to get cold in the winter. And we first moved down here and just stayed over on Sanibel for first half of the year. And of course the winters are just delightful down here. And then everyone around here is familiar with Shell Point, but our dog weighs about 40 pounds. And where for the apartments that they have, they keep it to a 20-pound limit, which makes good sense. But with the estuary here, they've been flexible and allow larger dogs, and that meant that we could consider moving into Shell Point and take life easy, take advantage of all the recreational things they've got here. And
we kept talking to Ted Benjamin for a couple of years, and then he called one day and he said, "We're having a luncheon. Would you like to come over and hear about the estuary?" And then we found out the number, and we said, "Oh dear, we want one of those." Yeah. And fortunately, his inviting us to lunch let us know it was available.
All the staff here, everybody we work with, they're just all friendly as can be, helpful as can be. We needed to get in here by a certain date because we had sold our home on Sanibel, and we had to be out of it by a certain date. And that date was several weeks before any of the homes over here were scheduled to be ready for occupancy. And we were over here almost every day while they were building it. And talking with the people who were doing the actual work here.
Bob Southern happened to be here one night, and we told him the date that we had to be out at Sanibel, which was November 30th. We'd stayed in the house something like four months after it was sold, which was nice, but we had to be out. He said, "I'll call you tomorrow and see what we can do."
And so we got in that time, and it made the move much easier for us, and it was good.
The sidewalk is almost completed all the way around the new lake. And the white pelicans have chosen to come over here quite a bit.
And over here, we're very much more independent of the automobile. I got a golf cart, which I can take over to the golf course or to the exercise or to the kayaks and anything else. I think if I go out and kayak in the morning and then go to the exercise program in the afternoon, there's probably more here to do than you can really find time for unless you really schedule yourself.
Even though the air has been chilly in recent weeks, the water in the Aquatic Center pools has stayed nice and comfortable. And Craig Norling has a class there that may be just the thing to help you with agility and conditioning.
I'm Mary Franklin with the Health Connection, here today with our fitness coordinator, Craig Norling, and we're here to promote an upcoming brand new class here at the new LifeQuest Aquatic Center. Craig, you're going to be teaching an interesting class. Yes. It's going to be Aqua Agility and Conditioning. You're going to offer it 3 sessions, right?
A, B, and C.
All right. And for dates and times, you want to check your Health Connection booklet because we're offering this in 3 different series. And an interesting thing about this class, it's a small class.
True.
Why are you only letting 6 people in at a time?
So I can focus on just those 6 people, so we can work on what this class is designed for as far as agility and conditioning. And so we're going to take time for those 6 people to work on that, as long as their flexibility and the range of motion.
Right. So it's like a group personal training. Instead of one-on-one, it's a little bit more people, which will be fun. Now, when they come every session, you're doing a group of 12 sessions. Is every time going to be exactly the same?
Oh no.
No.
It'll be different every time.
Okay.
We'll do some of the same stuff every time, but every time will be different.
Okay, you want to really work on their specialized needs and get them going. What parts of the pool will you be using?
I get really all of them.
Okay.
All of them. We might do a little deep water, we might use some of the therapy pool, we might even use the lap lane right here.
Okay. Now in Melanie Brode's class for agility, she does a lot of footwork. How are you going to translate that into the pool?
Well, we're going to do a lot of full body work.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to use their entire body and moving them for a lot of time.
Okay, all right. So it's really that real focus group, a lot of attention by Craig, and you want that from him so he can push you to your limit, but not too far. He's just going to make you just get to that uncomfortable zone, right?
Just enough, yeah.
Right, and make you push it. And so this will be a great class if you want to get into the water and push it a little bit more than what you traditionally have. Craig will be your guy to do that. I'm Mary Franklin along with Craig. Make it a happy and healthy day.
The Academy on the Go certainly gets around to some interesting and beautiful places. Paul Maker's resident George Waters brought his camera along on a trip to the Marie Selby Botanical Gardens in Sarasota, and he brought back these beautiful images. developments in audiology technology and testing can help protect, prolong, and improve your hearing. Audiologist Jack Adams came by to tell us about it.
Hi, I'm Heather Batty from Resort Services, and today I'm here with Jack Adams. He's from the Audiology Consultants of Southwest Florida, and he's also one of our wonderful providers here at the Arbor Medical Center. Jack, thank you so much for being here today.
My pleasure, as always.
First, tell us what days you are at the Arbor Medical Center.
I'm here all day on Wednesdays, every week, yes.
Perfect. And how long have you been with us here at Shell Point?
A little over 2 years.
2 years.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
And you have a presentation coming up through the Health Connection, and it's called LACE.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
LACE is an acronym for Listening and Communication Enhancement. And I actually have given this presentation here before, and it was quite well received. There were a few people that had difficulty with it. It does involve using a computer. But it's a software program that allows people the opportunity at their own pace to work on their listening skills at home on their computer. Hearing aids only take care of part of the problem. Okay. Hearing and listening are two very different concepts. And the better people hear, it's important that they also know how to listen. And people with hearing loss usually have difficulty understanding rapid speech. They have difficulty understanding speech when there's noise in the background. They have difficulty anticipating context if they're not catching all of a conversation. And so this program, through audio bites, allows them to go through different exercises and work on those types of skills. And it's self-generating in the sense that if they get a question right, then it makes it more difficult. If they get one wrong, then it makes it less difficult. And so they gradually try to build up their skill level at each of the different categories.
So is it an actual program that you would have to buy, or is it on the website?
It is. There is a website version, but it doesn't have all the capability of the purchased version. If you were to buy it, let's say through Amazon.com, it costs $100. But I get them at my cost, and I pass them on to the residents here at my cost, which is $40. Okay. So there's a $40 fee to actually buy the disc. Okay. But it's reusable, as many times as you would like. And for those people that have used it, that I've gotten feedback from, they've enjoyed it. And the national studies that have been done reflecting the benefit has been very positive. It's like over 80% of the people that use it show a positive benefit in their listening skills.
Okay, so it's not necessarily just for people who have hearing aids.
By no means. I would encourage anybody, to come. Spouses of individuals that have hearing loss, or even people that don't have hearing loss, or people that just want to train their brain a little bit. As you know, as we get older, we're all concerned about keeping the brain as stimulated as possible. And there have been studies done recently that have shown that there's a higher incidence of hearing loss in people with Alzheimer's. The theory behind that being that it's important to keep all of your pathways to the brain stimulated, and your auditory pathway is a very key element in that regard. So a simple exercise like this that someone can do at home is just a challenging, fun way to, again, keep that auditory pathway stimulated and challenged and learn something new. So it can be beneficial to anyone.
Well, it certainly sounds like a great program. It's called LACE. It's Listening and Communication Enhancement. It's on Wednesday, March 4th, 1:15 at the Social Center. I'm Heather Batty. Have a wonderful day.
Dr. Joe Frazier of Oakmont has instituted a scholarship in honor of his wife's life work as a nurse. He hopes to encourage other nursing hopefuls in their education. Dr. Frazier spoke with Julie Boyd from the Legacy Foundation about the new scholarship.
Hi, I'm Julie Boyd with the Legacy Foundation, and I'm here today talking with Dr. Joe Frazier about the Edith C. Frazier Nursing Scholarship. Thank you, Dr. Frazier, for having me here today.
Thank you for coming. I appreciate it very much.
Take us back to, I don't know, what you might call the beginning, or give us some history and background about your wife.
Well, it's a long story, but really, let me give her background to start with. She was born to large family. She was the fourth of 7 children. Her father was a carpenter, naturally of limited education and ability. And she was born in 1927. And 3 years later, you know, the Depression came along, so they had a very, very hard time. And then World War II came along, and the Navy needed nurses. And they set up cadet training programs all over the country in small hospitals. And they did one in Greensboro, North Carolina, our home. And she enlisted.
Okay.
She got her degree in 2 years, and about the time she finished, the war ended. So she didn't go in the Navy. She was left to work. And she went to work and was made chief nurse anesthetist. She did that for 14 years. And that's where I met Edith. I came to Greensboro out of Duke University. And I had training in surgery, and cardiovascular, chest surgery, heart surgery was just new and just beginning. It was in its infancy. And I met her and found that she gave the best anesthetic of anybody in town, better than any of the doctors. And so I tried to get her to do my cases whenever I could, and she did.
Right.
So I asked her out, and she was very reluctant at first. But anyway, one thing led to another, and we got married. We practiced on then for 2 years, and by then we were both tired. So we retired a little earlier than we didn't plan. In my, well, really, I guess, counting medical school, all 50 years in medicine. I've known hundreds of nurses. I've never known anybody that could hold a candle to her.
Extraordinary.
And yet she thought she was just an ordinary person. And we had planned to do a lot of traveling these last few years, but my health first, then I got better, then she got sick, and now she's in the pavilion with dementia. But I wanted people to remember her.
Right. This is a wonderful way to do it.
So I have established an endowment fund, starting with $200,000, to create scholarships for youngsters who have the desire to get into nursing. And this is an opportunity for people here.
Well, it's for the Shell Point employees.
It is designed to start with Shell. We've got a lot of people around here that would love to get into nursing. I've had a couple of nurses over tell me they know people who are doing other things that would love to get into nursing, but they can't afford it.
Yes.
We want to train the nursing assistants and practical nurses primarily. And hopefully, if the fund grows large enough and we have the funds, we would then like to offer RN scholarships to those who would like to go from LPN to registered nurse. And I think that it's an opportunity for people here.
It's perfect.
To contribute to their own care, do something good at home. We all contribute all over the world, but we can do that at home and add to the wonderful, as I say, my little place in heaven.
That's right.
That Shell Point is.
Yeah.
I hope that the people in Shell Point will recognize this as an opportunity to do something for Shell Point and for themselves, as well for the needy. It's, I think, a unique opportunity.
It's a wonderful opportunity. If you would like to know more about the Edith C. Frazier Nursing Scholarship, please contact the Legacy Foundation at 466-8484.
Well, that wraps up another week on Shell Point Today. We're glad you joined us for our show. Tune in again next week for more news and stories from around your community. Until then, this is Shell Point Today for the weekend of February 27th, 28th, and 29th. I'm Dan Filgreen, and from all of us here at Shell Point TV, we hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here Monday.